Good morning, everybody. This is Grant from State of the Spark, and I am super pumped for today's show. As you can tell, we're at Catapult, a different location. Our internet wasn't working so hot, so I am grateful today for Catapult. And since we're getting started a little late today, I actually wanted to jump right into a lesson that is really burning me up right now. And this thing is burning so deep inside of me, I have to share it. But before we start with today's show, we're going to skip other news. We're going to skip the markets because I want to get right into this. But before we do anything, you know we've got to start with, well, this is normally my morning cup of gratitude, but this morning it's my morning cup of Catapult coffee. And so grab a warm cup of coffee and do gratitude with me today. What are you grateful for? What's keeping you inspired? What's keeping you pumped? What's getting you out of bed this morning? I want to know what is getting you and keeping you alive and breathing life into the breath of your lungs this morning. What are you obsessed about? And if you're not obsessed, which is what we're going to talk about today, what should you be obsessed about? What do you know secretly in your heart of hearts is the thing you want to be doing, the thing you should be doing? It would disrupt your entire normal life, but if you could do it, you would. That's what we're here to talk about, and that's what I'm grateful for, because I am reconnecting with my sense of obsession, because it's not even so much the object of your obsession that's important. It's the fact that you're moving forward with the heart of obsession. That's what we're going to talk about today. So it's time. It's time, and I'm grateful for today's show because it's time for all of us to step up and live for obsession, because the world is kind of in a neutral mess right now. The world is kind of in this mediocre mindset, this moderate zone, and they are not passionate about anything, which means they're not making breakthroughs about anything, which means they're looking for leadership from other people outside themselves. They're looking for change. They're skimming the feeds. They're doom scrolling. They're looking for answers from somewhere outside of themselves. And when you start to get obsessed and take care of your own heart and your own mind and push forward, you start to show people it's possible for them, and then they stop doom scrolling. They start looking into their heart for what they really want. They stop asking other people for answers because you already know. You already know what you should do. You don't need another piece of information. You don't need another guru. I saw a TikTok yesterday, and this stirred me up, or this weekend, and it stirred me up so hard. You don't need another piece of information. You don't need ChatGPT to tell you what to do. You don't need another fact. You don't need another how-to. You know that as soon as you set your sights on a goal, you could YouTube it and get the answers you want. You know that. You know that if you wanted to fix your car, develop a surfing life, move to the islands, you could get all the answers you want. You don't need another answer. You need a vision. And you need a vision that you can get radically obsessed about. That's what we're going to talk about today. So what am I grateful for? That this thing is alive in me today. That's what I'm grateful for. What are you grateful for? Let's talk about the time for obsession and how to get obsessed. So as I've said, most of you are living in a state of limbo. Many of you wake up and how do I know that you're living in a state of limbo? How do I know that most people are living a moderate, mediocre life at best? Because I talk to a lot of people, and the number one thing I do is I ask people, what's your dream? What do you want to be doing? Now, you don't even have to ask big questions. You might ask your spouse or your partner, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? If you hadn't thought about it, they'll generally say, I don't know. You might not know. If people ask you, you might say, I don't know. What do you want to do about X, Y, and Z? I don't know. Now, it's not bad to not know. You might not want to know what's for dinner until it's time to decide. You might not want to think about it. You might not have the bandwidth. But the consistent answer of I don't know, whether it's in small things like what you're doing for dinner, or whether it's in huge things like what are you doing for your business? Where are we going to move? What's the next property we're going to buy? What's our next investment? What's our next equity event? What's our next fitness goal? How are we going to evolve as a couple? What are we doing spiritually? What's our next trip, or what's our next revelation that we're chasing spiritually? If you don't have an answer, and if you're just like, I don't know. Now, it's not even not knowing. You could have an inquisitive response, and that inquisitive response could be like, you know what? I don't know. But back of that inflection is you actually saying, I'm searching for it. There's an inflection that's saying, I'm hungry for it and I'm looking for it, but most people don't have that. Most people have the inflection that just goes, I don't know. I don't know. And back of that inflection is people who are not even looking. Back of that inflection are people who are not even curious about their spirituality and where they're going and what's going on next, where their next fitness goal is, what their next relationship goal is. If you've been married over 7 years, chances are you don't have goals about that relationship. What's the relationship goal for the next level of intimacy, kindness, communication, adventure, time apart, healthy time apart, personal study, book study? What is it? I don't know. The I don't know response with an inflection that says, I don't know and I'm not looking, and man, this is exhausting even having this conversation, Grant, tells me that you are A, not obsessed, obviously, but B, I could tell you where you're going to be in a year. You're going to be at I don't know. If you are not looking, if you don't have the vocal inflection that you're hungry and you're looking, I don't know, but I'm looking. I don't know, but I'm searching. I don't know, but here's my next plan. You're allowed to not know. You're not allowed to live in a state of mediocrity, at least if you're in my world. Of course, many people will, but that's what we're hoping to change today. So that's how I know that most people are living in the I don't know. And honestly, you could be here for several reasons. Number one, you truly don't know. And you're trying to be honest and authentic in not knowing. And it's okay to be honest and authentic in not knowing what's next for you, not knowing your big goal, not knowing the next milestones that you're after in front of you. Some of you authentically don't know, but you would tell in the inflection if you were looking. Most of you, the inflection tells me you've given up. Now, the second reason people are in the I don't know phase is because they're afraid. They've made themselves small. They've been either partnered relationally with someone who maybe doesn't make them small, but the only way to get along is to be small. You know what I'm talking about. You might be the out loud person. They might be the out loud person. But one or the other eventually tries to continue to fit in with the other person, so they make themselves small. So I don't know becomes an easy answer. Truth is they do know. And they're afraid that if they say what they want for dinner, they say what they want from intimacy, they're afraid they're going to trigger their partner. They're afraid they're going to push their partner away or lose that partner's intimacy. Truth is they're not getting much anyway. So what do you have to lose? And it's consistency and stability. But that's another reason people end up in the I don't know. And the third reason people end up in the I don't know is this. They're afraid or have intentionally or unintentionally lost track of their inner voice. Now, some people say, well, my inner voice or God is what you're getting at. Not necessarily. It's conscience. And conscience is different than those who say they hear from God. Conscience is a knowing of yourself and being honest about it. A lot of you have been honest about who you are and what your conscience is telling you, the life you want to live, the framework you want to live under, the goals you have for your fitness, your health, your relationships, your spirituality. You've been honest with yourself about that, but it hasn't happened immediately or even in a while. So you shut the voice down because it seems like it's less painful. But the truth is you do not need to avoid the pain of cognitive dissonance. You need to embrace the pain of cognitive dissonance. When you feel a pain that I crave something that's not happening, it's causing pain in my life, you don't need to shut it down so that you're not experiencing pain. You need to adjust the outside so it matches your inner life and go through that pain. Pain isn't meant to be avoided. Pain is a compass. So those are the three main reasons I find that people live in the I don't know, because they genuinely don't know, but honestly aren't looking for answers. They, too, are shrinking themselves smaller and turning off their inner voice because they don't want to put off the people around them. Or third, they've craved it in the past, but they've slowly turned off their inner voice for a variety of reasons, but typically because they're so afraid of the cognitive dissonance and the pain of what the changes that might be required. They don't want to face those changes. Those are the reasons people live in the I don't know. And then they start doom scrolling. Then they start looking for answers outside of themselves. They're skimming YouTube reels and shorts. They're skimming Instagram reels and shorts. They're pursuing affairs. They're pursuing relationships they shouldn't be in. They're pursuing it in the bottom of a potato chip bag, looking for answers to some other solution because they have a false dichotomy. It's either got to be this or it's got to be that. And that story loop does not produce the relief they need. Now, this is nothing new to the ambitious. A lot of ambitious people have been experiencing their own internal encounter when they encounter the I don't know for themselves, and they hate it. Ambitious people cannot live in the I don't know. And though they might bottom out or self-harm or do something crazy, typically ambitious people fight their way out of that and usually end up in a lot of conflict in their life and embrace the pain. Now, for the unambitious, You've been applying your energies to weird things. Like I said, weird business investments. You're looking outside of yourself for a breakthrough, so you go to weird business investments. You buy weird shit coins or meme coins. You buy the odd stock throwing dice basically, hoping that maybe there's a huge financial gain, and that huge financial gain, I can buy my way out of my cognitive dissonance. Maybe if I flip a property or get super rich, maybe suddenly there's going to be new options where I'll like myself again, or start saying yes to the actual obsession on my heart. Say yes to the voice inside of myself. They think this on the other side of truly excessive fitness. It's one thing to get fit and strong, and I'm down with that. But people who lose themselves in it, they're doing the same thing. Or they're chasing romance from less than ideal partners or staying in that. People find these outlets because they don't know how else to solve. They're looking for answers. But if you listen to all of that, they're looking for answers outside of themselves. And I'm here to tell you, the answers to the pain of cognitive dissonance, the answers to the desires on your heart are inside of you. They're already there. And all you have to do is nurture them and reinforce them and make sure that your outer world matches your inner world. This is the problem. We have an inner world, and even if we stifle it and shut it down, we still walk through a very painful but often unheard bandwidth of pain. This is what they call stuffing in psychology. It's still there. You could turn that inner voice down, but that creates a type of victimization loop. So the intensity of the pain doesn't go away. The bandwidth, the wavelength of that pain is much smaller, but the intensity, it intensifies at a deeper level. So the only solution is to make your outer world match your inner world. So how are we going to solve this? As I've already said, you already know what to do. I absolutely believe you already know what you want. If you were to sit down with a pen and paper or a camera or record yourself and no one else could hear it ever again, or a therapist, and confess to that person or confess to yourself what you really want, it would pour out of you. If you gave yourself permission, it would flow out of you. And then if you ask yourself, well, how do I do that? And it was a sincere how. It would be very simple for you to look around the world and get answers from YouTube University. It's very simple for you to connect with people that you respect on Twitter or Instagram and reach out to them and say, hey, how did you do X? They've put all of their content on. If you want abs, go follow that person who I just looked at Alex Hormozi last night. And he actually listed his exact method to getting abs. And it's actually a really good technique. If you know that's what you want, the information is out there. The trouble is you're doom scrolling because you're trying to land on something that stirs you. You're trying to land on a piece of short content that motivates you enough to take action, when the truth is you doom scroll enough, you're also numbing yourself to motivational forces. So what do? You put it down and you learn how to cultivate your own obsession. When you're obsessed, you repel the people that should be repelled. When you're obsessed, you attract the people that should be attracted. When you're obsessed, you see it in your mind's eye. It's the dominant fantasy. Think of all the ways you fantasize throughout the day. Fantasize what could go wrong. You fantasize how bad it is. You fantasize about your meeting with your boss or your employer and how much worse it's going to get. You apply the action of fantasization or fantasy or imagination on so many things about the life you don't want. You're already living that life. You don't have to fantasize about it, but you're living it and you're amplifying it in your imagination center because you're dwelling on it all day. When you're obsessed with a vision you love, you see it in your mind's eye more than any other. You know what to do in your off time. When someone asks you, what do you want to do? You say, well, honestly, I'd like to do X, Y, and Z. Honestly, I'd like to record another episode of my show. Honestly, I'd like to go for a run. Honestly, I'd like to sit and have a moment of intimacy without the family, without the distractions, without the dog, without the phones. I want a moment of intimacy. You would honestly know if you saw it in your mind's eye. When you're obsessed with the vision you want, the fun times you have are often continuity with the people you're working with because your outer world is matching your inner world. And those are the type of people you want to run with anyway, whether you're working or whether you're having fun. You should be working with the type of people you want to have fun with. So ask yourself, who would I like to go hang out and party with? Who would I like to wake up early in the morning and go for a workout with? Those are the type of people I should be serving in my business, in my entrepreneurship, in my job. When you see it, when you're obsessed and you see it in your mind's eye, the people you have fun with are often the people you work with. So how do we return to obsession? And this is what I've really been wanting to share with you today. How can you return because the goal is to be obsessed. It's almost like there's some virtue signal about not being too extreme. There's a virtue signal about calming down, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the pandemic hangover that's still pulling on everyone from Ukraine. I don't know if it's doom scrolling hangover. I literally do not see that people have shaken off the malaise that had started in the pandemic, got horribly worse, and whether it was the debt crunch or whatever it is, it's time for you to get obsessed, because obsession that stems from your inner life is the only way out. Let's talk about it. Number one, you have to have a framework. Now, by framework, I mean you have to look at your life and know, because we're about to go into our imagination center. We're about to start fantasizing and to go from fantasy to fact, meaning go from our inner life and making it true in our outer life. You're going to fantasize your life, but you can't do that about the lake I see in the window out here or the building over there. What should I fantasize about? So the first step is having a framework, or what we call at State of the Spark, freedom frameworks. The freedom framework we use for this is the TLE, the total life experience. Fitness and health, healthy, happy relationships, work I enjoy, and spirituality. And the idea is that on a scale of 1 to 10, you want to feel a level 7 to 10 in all of those areas, and each of those areas. When you feel a little sad, you're probably not feeling a level 7 to 10 in at least one of those areas. If you're feeling depressed, it's probably because you feel less than a 7 to 10 in more than one of those areas. And if you're feeling isolated, alone, and suicidal, it's probably because your relationships are feeling well below 5 and you're feeling off kilter. So the total life experience is a freedom framework for you to think about your life and go, okay, fitness and health, how do I want to look? How do I want to eat? What's my relationship with food? What's my relationship with fitness and activity? How do I take my breaks? People take 10-minute smoke breaks, or they take a social media skim break. Well, what if you took a kettlebell squat break? What if you went and got some water every hour and a half and did 10 kettlebells, 10 push-ups, and 10 sit-ups? What's your relationship with fitness and health that you felt good in your body? Because this is the body you got. So first off is having a framework, and we call it the TLE, the total life experience. And what makes it total life is this. When the fitness and health that you're feeling at level 7 or 8 starts to overlap with healthy, happy relationships, and that starts to overlap with work you enjoy, and that starts to overlap with spirituality, when you are experiencing spirituality in your work and those are overlapping, when you are experiencing spirituality with people that you know, like, and trust, when you're working and that work overlaps with people you know, like, and trust, when your fitness and health keeps you active and energized, your TLE is a framework by which you can put most of the largest activities in your life in 4 buckets and then focus your energy on that. So step 1 is having a framework, and I recommend the total life experience, but come up with your own. Maybe it's travel. Well, travel's part of work I enjoy and spirituality, so it's a tangential thing. It's in some of that overlap. But have a freedom framework no matter what you do. Come up with your own. I suggest the TLE. You can learn more about that at stateofthespark.com or ask me for a link and I'll get it to you. The second thing is this. Cultivate a vibrant, robust inner life. You have to have a vibrant, robust inner life. And by that, I mean a lot of you have an inner life, but it's dark. It's dank. It's cluttered. Your inner life is full of things you don't want. Your inner life is full of negativity. Your inner life is, oh, that's not what I want. Oh, that's not what I want. And then you think about the thing you don't want. Oh, I hate when I sit on the couch. When I sit on the couch, it's like this, and this is why I sit on the couch. And you think you're understanding it more, but you're actually excusing yourself. Well, I'm on the couch because I don't live at the beach surfing all the time, or I don't live in the mountains hiking all the time. And so that's why you basically you might sound angry, but you're giving yourself an excuse on why you don't at least run the lake, or why you don't go to the gym, why you don't at least eat right or fast several times a day, or get to the beach more, uproot your life and move to where you should move to. You are literally rehearsing the power of imagination on what you don't want, even though it sounds like, well, I'm against it. That's why I'm thinking about it. I'm against it. That's why I'm thinking about it. False. You're rehearsing it so that you can get a dopamine hit, which is what anger does. It does also drop neurotransmitters. You're addicted to being angry about it, but you're also excusing it on why I won't do anything about that tonight because it's too big of a lift. It's too big to uproot my life tonight. It's too big to go to the gym. I don't have any of my gym clothes. It's too big to run the lake. I'm not used to it. I'm out of shape, and I'd rather start in the morning and start with a plan. Good luck to you. You're literally rehearsing what you don't want. So if the first step is having a framework, the second step is having a vibrant, robust inner life, not a dark, dank, negative, cluttered inner life. When you doom scroll, you're taking in hundreds of data points and it's cluttering your inner life. Now you're making it harder to sit down and meditate. Now you're making it harder to clarify your inner voice. When you doom scroll, and I'm not against social media. Y'all know I'm in social media. I'm about to line up my post for my workout this morning. I'm down with social media. But this frame of mind you're in when you're consuming as a distraction like eating potato chips, you're literally filling your inner life instead of a vibrant, robust inner life full of the vision of what you want, full of you flowing and telling about a vision. It's a garden. Your inner life is a garden that should literally flow out of your mouth. Every time someone says, "What are you thinking about?" The answer is, "I don't know." The answer should literally be, "I was thinking about the trail. I was thinking about the beach. I was thinking about how I'm gonna find a property for us. I was thinking about how we love one another. I was thinking about how I'm just going to start lifting and doing push-ups or sit-ups on my lunch break." Tell me about your vibrant, robust inner life. Channel all of the energy you've been putting towards fantasizing what you don't want and put that towards fantasizing what you do want. Channel that energy. You have the energy in you. You have the bandwidth, the energy before work, after work, during work. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care if you're busting Broncos. I don't care if you're laying asphalt. When you actually clear your mind and put in your mind the things you're passionate about, you'll find the extra mile. You'll find the energy. Number 3, once you've healthily fantasized about the life you want to build, the third step is making your outer world match your inner world. The third step is putting that vision in front of you everywhere you can. And by that, I literally mean physically. Number 1, do you have an updated dream board? If you do not have an updated dream board, you're not serious. You're not serious about the world you want to see. I want to live at the beach. I want to have a Spanish Mediterranean home. I have my dream board in my backpack right now. And that dream board is something I look at and it's something I go over to reinforce. If you do not have a dream board over your computer or in your bedroom or in your bathroom where you see it daily, you are not serious. You have all these negative emotions about the life you don't have, but you are not serious about making your outer world match your inner world. Number 1, have a dream board. Number 2, write a daily top 5 card. And that daily top 5 is not about your business. It's not about your responsibilities. The daily top 5 are the top 5 things that you need to accomplish to move the dream forward. Diggs says, "Hey, what's up, man? Good morning, Diggs. I hope you're doing great in from Twitch." So when you're trying to manifest your dream life, when you're trying to make that thing become a reality, first, you've got to absolutely have a framework. The total life experience I've already described. Watch the replay. Number 2, you've got to have a vibrant, robust inner life, not a dark, dank, negative one. You've got to have a vibrant, robust one that is more full of your inner vision than any other inputs, than any other doom scrolling, than any other influencers' accounts. You've got to actually Fortnite. What do you mean by Fortnite? I have no idea. Number 3, put that vision in front of you so that it's in front of every aspect of your life. Have a dream board in front of your bedroom, a dream board in your bathroom, have a written dream board, and then in there also write a daily top 5. I don't even know what this person is talking about. How many Fortnite do I have? No Fortnite, bro. You need to actually change the backgrounds of your computer so that the goal is on the backgrounds of your computer. You won't be able to see this necessarily, but the background of my cell phone has my top goal here, and it has this third one, igniting lives is our mission, State of the Spark is our company, and switch to a training company. I have my goal in front of me everywhere. On the background of my computer, the background of my cell phone, a dream board, a daily top 5. If you have a smartwatch, I got a smartwatch right here. I put my top goals on my smartwatch. You are trying to create obsession in your life for the world you want to build outside of yourself. So you have to start inside of yourself, but then you have to start making your outer world match your inner world. Oh, a mild inconvenience TV says, my goal is Fortnite. There you go. putting Fortnite in front of you everywhere, but not just Fortnite, but what's your goal in Fortnite? Your peak character, your rewards, where you travel when you actually play Fortnite competitions. You actually travel the world and meet people. Your dream partner for that sort of thing. Like fitness and health, healthy, happy relationships, work you enjoy, to have enough resources from your winnings in Fortnite that you can take the afternoon and exercise or whatever it is you want to do. I have never played Fortnite. All right, sounds good. Then you need to start playing Fortnite, my friend. Just like if my goal is to be fit and I've never lifted a weight, I need to start lifting weights. So get out there and actually start lifting the weights. In your case, actually start playing Fortnite. So the third step is putting that vision in front of yourself everywhere you can in your outer life. So that, now why do you do this? Why do you put dream boards up and why do you put reminders everywhere? Because you make decisions at every point of the day, and those decisions determine destiny. And when you make a decision that is continuously reinforcing the life you don't want, because that's the thing in your inner life, if someone says, hey, what do you want to do for dinner? And you think, well, I don't want to keep trugging along and eating the same trash. Well, then you'll think of, well, that healthy restaurant. Or if you want to network with quality people, you're going to quit going to that dive bar and you're going to go to that nice restaurant once a week. So when we say, let's go out, you say, well, who can we invite? The response isn't, I don't know. The response is aligned with this subconscious vision you've been programming. When someone says, hey, what do you want to do for lunch? And someone says, I'd like to do some sit-ups. That flows out of someone who says fitness is their goal and they've got it written on the dream board everywhere they're at. You know, we should get a little workout set up here at the house so that I can work out between breaks. I can work out at lunch. I can take the dog for a run. Whatever it is, you actually start putting these dream boards up and these goals on the cell phone background or your computer background so that you are constantly thinking about it, so that when the option comes up to make a decision, you're making a decision that aligns with your inner life, your actual desires. Hey, what do you want to do tonight? Listen, I'd like to stay in, but I don't want to watch Netflix. I'd like to stay in and work on our intimacy. Or I'd like to go out and have a serious conversation about our budget so that we can really move. Or I'd like to just look at our finances together to know that we have the down payment for that investment property on the beach or in the mountains. There's an ambition that comes out of you, not a You got to actually look for that vision and cultivate it. So you have a framework. You've been working on a robust, vibrant inner life that aligns with the life you want. You've written these goals everywhere in your outer life, on dream boards or on note cards or on the background of your cell phone. And so here's the fourth thing and the final thing. You need to release people that are not aligning with your vision. This is the toughest one. You need to let people go who are not aligning with your vision. I believe this. I believe all miracles happen through other people. But I also believe all curses happen through other people. Many people in your life have a calm, kind curse in your life. They're probably loving. They probably want the best for you. They probably encourage you once in a blue moon. They probably take care of a few things around the house and say, oh, no, I support you. I support your goals, whether it's Fortnite like my dude here. I don't want to play Fortnite. Okay. My goal is Fortnite. I don't want to play Fortnite. Sorry, bud. I can't help you if you do and you don't. But the people in your life quite often are not enemies. They're frenemies. They're friends. They're people you've gotten accustomed to. They're people you might like. You know, I had a conversation with Marissa this weekend, and we talked about how many different groups of friends over the last 2 or 3 years have gotten together and asked themselves, hey, let's throw our money together, buy a property, and then all build a community on that property that's a little more sustainable, maybe tiny home living. We could do communal dinners and live together. And how many of them have actually followed through? Very few. Because what has happened is when they realized that they could live closer together, spend more time together, and actually have to work together, they actually don't like those people that much. Ooh, they don't like those people enough to actually go to war with them. They don't like those people enough to actually build a community with them. If you have people in your life that are resisting your vision, what they're telling you is listen, I support you, but not enough to actually build with you. They're consciously or unconsciously telling you that they don't want to go to war with you. They're consciously or unconsciously revealing that they're not worthy to go to war with. Think about that. When you have talked about your vision enough and people are like, that's cool, I support you, let me encourage you, that's great, thank you. But those aren't the people that deserve your energy. Yes, be kind. Yes, be loving. Don't burn any bridges. But you want to allow your vision to repel the people it needs to repel. If miracles happen through people, if miracles come through people, a doctor's positive report, someone with an extra check when you're down on your finances, a friend who's there to take you to the airport when you're stuck. If miracles happen through people, so do curses. And often they're calm, kind curses. So let those people remove themselves. Let them go. First, release them in your heart. You don't have to be in my life. I love you. I want you. I crave you in my life. But my goal is moving this direction. And if you're counter to that, if you're pulling energy from that, and I don't just mean money, and I don't just mean time, I also mean attitude. If your attitude is pulling energy from this vision, I release you. You don't have to be here, and I'm not going to pour energy into you because I need to pour energy into the people that are building up this vision. So whether it's a family community of multiple families, whether it's your fitness and health, whether it's your business vision, whether it's just living where you want to live, first and foremost in your heart, first and foremost in your heart, go there and kindly release them. Then tell them that you release them. Meet with them over coffee and just let them know and just kindly say, hey, you know that you don't have to do this with me, but I need to move forward, and ask them to release you, or ask them to step in and be a part of this thing, and ask them if they could see themselves in this vision. Could you see a place for yourself in this vision? If we continue to chase, and the work is going to be long, the work is going to be hard, but could you see yourself here with me? Let's run together. And if you don't want to run, then I release you. How do we need to change our relationship? How do we need to change our friendship? How do we need to change how we operate? Sometimes that happens. And that's okay. People are here for a season or a reason, but quite often they're not here forever. So the fourth step here is releasing people in your heart with kindness first, and then in communication when you meet with each other. Now, that might sound dramatic. Does it have to be so dramatic? No. But here's the point about obsession. You don't want to be extreme about too much. Well, that sounds a little extreme. You have been moderate and median and mediocre for far too long. You have not given people the opportunity to decide to run with you any longer. You need to. We need decision points because decision determines destiny. And if we are not making clear-cut decisions for a clear obsession, we are living a mediocre life. Are you miserable? Are you miserable? Chances are you're leading a moderate life. Maybe it's not mediocre. Mediocre sounds extremely blasé, but it means the same as moderate. You should live in the extremes at least you should live in the extremes at least in the moments that it takes for you to lean in and make a change. If we want to move on the beach, we need to lean into that and get extreme for a while and uproot our life, make some big decisions, make some big changes, and then move to the beach. It's going to take a lot, and for a long time, it's going to be extreme. Do you want to get fit? I had to tell a friend that I can't meet for coffee at 5 a.m. on Tuesdays anymore because I really want to get fit, and it's going to take a commitment. And we haven't hung out much in months because of it. And we had been meeting for years before that. But that's what my dream took. What about your business? What about your fitness and health? What about your business? What about your intimate relationships? What about your spirituality? I encourage you to go off balance and get obsessed. Use this framework. Number one, come up with your own framework. I recommend the TLE. Number two, have a vibrant, robust, joyful inner vision. Fill your vision not with what you don't want. Fill your vision with what you do want. Make it robust so that you crave it, so that when you come out of your fantasy, when you come out of your imagination, you're like, I need to build this life. More than doom scrolling, more than any other input, more than Netflix, make sure that when you go into your imagination and you fantasize, you're not worrying, you're not ruminating, you're not thinking about what could have been or what should have been. You are literally building A vision and a garden in your mind. Number 3, put that vision in front of you physically. Put it on your dream boards, put it on your top 5 daily note cards, put it on your cell phone background, put it on your computer background. Make your notes open up every day at 8 a.m. and remind you of this vision. And number 4, release the people who are not aligned with that vision, first internally with kindness and then externally to their face. Why am I talking about any of this? Because the world needs you. The world needs you that's on fire. The world needs you that's charged. The world needs to know where you stand. Tell me where you stand, and don't make it a political issue, and don't make it a whatever issue. Make it a vision issue. When someone asks you where you stand, go, you know what, I don't know about that, but I'll tell you what I am passionate about. People need people that are alive so that you can serve as an inspiration or so that they can come along that journey with you. But listen, no matter what you do today, I want you to remember the main reason I'm doing this. I'm doing this for the mission, to ignite lives of explosive significance, starting with your own. Have a great day.